Christy started for me. Thank you, Christy. You're a beautiful person. This is the Planning Commission meeting to be held on Tuesday, April 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m. The meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Steve Rogers.
I'm here.
Brian Weiss is excused. Don Carlson.
Present.
Dave Schills. Bob Krenz. Mike Braswell.
Present.
And Mayor Knightsky.
Present. Commissioner Weiss isn't here. I'm not sure if he's coming.
I didn't hear anything.
Until he does, Commissioner Braswell, yeah, I think we can let him vote. Well, there's nothing contentious. Just kidding. All right. Item 2, I'd entertain a motion to approve the March 8th, 2022 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
By Commissioner Carlson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Braswell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion regarding the last common council meetings. Item 3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The public hearing that was held was La Villa Nutrition on Highway 100 that was approved.
Excellent. Item 4A and 4B is a special use permit for Beyond Strength and Conditioning, a proposed personal training business to be located 4643 South 108th Street, submitted by Stephen Dukic. I hope I pronounced that right. Doing business as Beyond Strength and Conditioning, as well as a site plan review.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Beyond Strength and Conditioning is proposing to occupy almost 1,300 square feet within the strip mall here on Highway 100 in Layton. Hours of operation would be by appointment only, but not to exceed 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. daily. The applicant does have 8 years of experience in the training business, and he would be the sole trainer and anticipates 5 to 30 clients per day. This site was just reviewed, actually, in the proposal I just mentioned, the nutrition place. Recently, it's in good condition. It meets the parking requirements for all of the uses on site. Staff recommends a public hearing be scheduled on May 17th.
Entertain a motion to approve both as presented by Commissioner Rogers. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Schills, I think, with the nod and a very black and white movie-ish kind of Cary Grant look kind of thing going on there. All right. Motion was made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And that would to schedule the public hearing for May 17, 2022.
Are you part of a consortium or a group of others that you can join in order to go there?
I'm kind of running things on my own right now. I'm actually currently working with 2 other organizations, the Hitters Baseball Academy out in Racine, and then Burlington Soccer Club out in Burlington. So
Cool.
going about it myself right now.
Good enough. Wish you luck.
Okay. Item 5A and B is a special use review for Rosen Hyundai of Greenfield. This includes the site landscape and architectural plans for a new building. Is that you guys? Yep, that's the guy on TV right there. See him. All right. That's very catchy.
And obnoxious.
But it sells, right?
You're doing great.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hyundai is located within a large PUD development that was approved in the early 90s, I believe. They're proposing 13,000 square feet of building additions to the front and rear of the existing building. It's a staff's recommending a special use review. As quoted in the staff report, the Plan Commission does have the authority that if we feel it's not a substantial change, that no public hearing would be required. That is the approach that staff is recommending with this particular proposal. The site plan here, you can see the 2 building additions in yellow. They're proposing an addition in the front, which is about 5,900 square feet, and in the rear, about 7,400 square feet. The existing parking, they'll lose just a few stalls with the building addition, but as you can see, they definitely exceed the code requirements, so they're in plenty good shape for parking. And they are going to reconstruct the refuse enclosure, which is set back very far, not viewable from the public, but it will be a masonry CMU block refuse enclosure to match most of the building of the construction of the building. This is the floor layout. You got the existing building in white here. You got the new reception area and the display for vehicles in the front, and then 3 service drives along the front here. And in the back, you have where they're actually doing mechanical work and service on the buildings, and a car wash addition in the back. So these are just some renderings of what the new addition will look like in the front from the view of 27th Street. Here you actually have the elevations comparing existing to proposed. This is the front elevation facing 27th Street. One note that was mentioned in the staff report, the municipal code does say that car dealers are not allowed to have overhead doors facing public streets. There are many existing
Examples.
conditions in the city of this. These are not service doors where you're going to have the cars lifted up and people working on them. They're simply a service drive-in. Staff does not object. They're also glass, good-looking doors. So again, just so it's in the minutes, if they can reflect, if the Plan Commission chooses to do so, to waive that requirement that's in the code. Here you have the proposed and existing south building elevations. The addition here is constructed of a brick base, ephes middle, and the metal panels. And I do know that the architect, Jim, brought samples of the metal panels along. Existing and proposed west elevation, so this is the back of the building. Construction is CMU block and will be painted their new corporate colors. And then you have the north elevation. I did notice that I accidentally duplicated the south elevation in staff report. I will fix that and we'll repost it on the website. But this is the north elevation. And again, the addition is here to the eastern portion of the building. So this is a real example of those metal panels of a dealership in Madison, just to get a better view of what they look like in real life compared to the building elevations. The only conditions that staff notice on the site is the code requires that these lights be projected down parallel to the ground level. And then one condition I do want to add that was not mentioned in the staff report, the fire department did ask, and I did speak to the architect about this, that this water connection be updated. This is very ancient. He said it's probably one of the only few left in the city that it be reconnected to the actual building. So that was a request of the fire department that I'd like to add to the conditions. Otherwise, staff recommends approval and that this be expedited to next week's common council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve that. I love it. Looks great.
I'll second.
A motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Carlson.
I have one question.
Yeah, don't forget to push your button if you're.
Will you keep Greenfield on the front of the building, the name Greenfield, as it is now?
Or do you have to get rid of it?
Oh? Uh-huh.
We can waive, is it the amount of signage is the problem?
No.
We would like for
If you
it to be
can,
there.
it's not
I
a.
would like you to keep it on the,
Oh, a big package needs to be submitted yet. We haven't seen that, but that'll come up to the Plan Commission.
If it's possible.
Yeah, those will all be new. Rendering show a really tall one. And we can come back.
It's Rosen of Greenfield, that's the name.
Is it Rosa Nissan of Greenfield too, or?
No, it's just Rosen Nissan.
Because on your commercials on TV, it says Rosen Nissan of Milwaukee.
Right. Oh, really?
It did. It did. Yeah, that's okay. We're just going to delay this we're going to delay this 3 or 4 months until. Yeah.
The Kia store's in Milwaukee, but the reason it has to be Greenfield anyway is because there's another Rosen in Kenosha.
That's okay. We're kind of messing with you anyways. All right, motion was made and seconded. With regard to the waiver for the overhead doors, yes.
I remember doing it the first time.
The use is not substantially changing, requiring a major change, public hearing. The item would be expedited to next common council
and
meeting.
including the change in the water also.
Yeah, is the water thing an issue?
They didn't seem to care.
No, I just wasn't clear. I didn't talk to the fire chief yet. We've already planned on where we're going to put the connection on the building. I just wasn't sure if we're supposed to abandon that one.
Yeah, I don't know, so,
Woman's
but
shaking her head
you're
yes.
familiar with it, so,
Yeah.
okay, that's an issue.
None of those are on time with you.
Okay, motion was made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you for being a really good part of Greenfield.
Thank you.
And for sponsoring the fall car show.
35 years.
35. You sound just, in person, you sound just like TV.
10 years old when we started.
Were you really? Really? Were you really? Wow. That's
When are you going to start going back to retro commercials and showing, like, when you're,
You should do that, that's a good idea. My kid, the one that started and was 3 years old, I was 33, so.
Wow.
Definitely doesn't look as cute as he did back then.
So you were 7 when you had him?
that's good. That's good.
World record.
Wow.
Outstanding.
All right. Item 6A and 6B is a special use permit for Milwaukee or MKE Wine and Liquor, a proposed business located at 3322 West Loomis, and the site plan review as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks.
This item was before the Plan Commission last month, I believe, for Sauce and Toss, a restaurant wing concept. However, the owner's partner some life changes and was not able to move forward with that concept. And so the new owner of the property is seeking a change to a liquor and convenience store. They would be proposing the hours of operation to be 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and would propose to sell beer, wine, liquor, tobacco products, and snacks. So it would be a full liquor license. Just a recap, this is under an approved site plan. The Plan Commission has given approval to have all of that completed by 2025, and that requirement follows the property no matter who the owner is. Just some site conditions that were noted as well last month to move the light heads down, to keep the refuse containers in the enclosure, and then we have a new dumpster on site. So site improvements would need to be completed if the Plan Commission and Council wish to approve this proposal. They are fine with parking. They exceed the requirements. Just to note, the police department did express a lot of concern with this new proposal. There are 6 locations in Greenfield within 1 mile to buy liquor and beer. This doesn't include locations in the city of Milwaukee. The Greenfield Police Department's concerns that they asked be mentioned this evening is the close proximity to the municipal border and then jurisdictional issues with the police departments and coverage for potential chronic, as they described it, retail theft that may lead to additional crimes if this proposal were to move forward. With that being said, staff is recommending that the Plan Commission recommend denial to the Common Council based off the police department's concerns. I do know that this has been communicated to the owner, and the owner is here this evening, and I think would like to address the Plan Commission as well.
Okay. Very good. Any
Well, I
questions?
would strongly agree with the police department on that. I just was talking to some this week about how it just seems like we're always approving more alcohol usage in our city, and I just don't think we need more.
And this is where all of our bad stuff comes from that's the border. And we already have enough, lack of better words, coming over.
Did you want to speak?
Yeah,
Just-
so my
Just
original,
let me make sure that your mic's on first, okay? Thank you. All right. Go ahead.
so
Sorry.
my original plan was to do Sauce and Toss. I own a restaurant in Chicago, actually in Zion. So my partner, he moved to India because of some health condition with his parents. So now I purchased the building, and so since he was my partner, so it's gonna be hard for me to like run 2 restaurants right away. So I found the easiest way to do this. So put a retail shop in there. So I do have a gas station with my uncle in Center, 20th on Center actually. So we'll kind of make a plan with the best way to do it. Put some easy business like a retail shop. And second thing is restaurant equipment's got delayed 7 months. So we have a fryer, it's like $60,000 fryer. So there's other conditions too. The restaurant equipment's got delayed, and my partner has to move to India and stuff. So this is the easiest way I found. Or if you guys don't approve for liquor store, I mean, I can still try my best to continue business as a restaurant, but it might just I have to find some different way to do it. Try to find a different investor or something.
So the difficulty is that once you're given the special use, it can't be given to you for like 6 months or a year or something, right? It's basically permanent, and it runs with the land. The comments over there are not ignored in any way, shape, or form. The last 2 liquor stores that have gone into the city, one was Total Wine, which was a substantial investment in the city. The other one was Paul's.
Yeah, Paul's Liquor.
On 27th Street, which involved a substantial investment
Hmm.
in a new building and the removal of some dilapidated structures that were actually falling apart and falling down. Yeah, this one's a challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's actually no improvements really being made here.
Right.
It just,
So should I just keep it as a restaurant? I mean, I can just go ahead and like do that, and it might just take me like maybe a couple months to like find a different investor, because I live in Franklin and it's gonna be easy for me because the partner, he lives in Chicago, so that was pretty different. But now he moved out, so I might have to manage that and have to find someone else here.
I think that that's probably your best bet.
Okay.
I don't see any desire.
So I
the
was-
people up here just recommend things, right? They don't make the decision. The Common Council will ultimately make the decision. And I suspect that in order for the Common Council to make a decision like that, it would require significant investment in the property.
Uh-huh.
And I still think that they would be
So-
pretty challenged with the proximity to Milwaukee, consistent with what the police department said, so.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna stick with the original plan, sauce and toss. I think that's the best I can do.
So that's
And-
approved, right?
Yeah, I know.
If it takes
This is
longer to
my.
get to where you need to be, then, reach out to Christie, and I think we all want you to succeed. Right?
Yeah.
We really do want you to succeed, and I'm not against your success by any stretch. We
No, I
want you to be
understand.
in Greenfield, we want you to be successful.
Definitely. Yep. I mean, I remember this used to be a Oya Chicken. This was my brother-in-law's restaurant.
Right.
So, I mean, now he's done with the restaurant business. So, I mean, I still have everything there, equipments, everything. I mean, nothing has been
It's a
changed.
substantial investment that he made into the property, right?
Yes.
The kitchen was really well done.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything is the same as is right now. So, I guess if the liquor doesn't go through, I mean, it's.
Do you want to withdraw the request, or do you want us to give it a negative recommendation?
Whatever makes, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, whatever makes you guys comfortable. I mean, I don't want to like keep wasting a lot of time. So I need to focus on one project. So I already waited 3 months, with a lot of other experience and stuff. So if you say no, let's do sauce and toss, a restaurant, then I can just focus and find different investor or something and bring a partner.
So I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But if you're suggesting that you want to withdraw your application, that might be the best move. But that's ultimately your decision.
No, I know. Yeah, I understand
So-
that.
And the restaurant is approved, and it had unanimous support, I think,
Yes.
here and at the council. So, I mean,
Okay.
clearly the route with less obstacles.
Okay.
Actually, no obstacles. Is that
Done.
fair?
That's cool. So do I have to come back again for the meeting, or
If you withdraw your application, you don't have to. Come
no?
back
So
after-
I'll stick with the restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go ahead and do that.
So it sounds like you're withdrawing the application.
Yeah, for the liquor store, because I mean the vibes I'm getting from you, I feel different. It's so I'll just go ahead and stick with the first plan and just continue that.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right.
I do want to just know, I think I have to, we'll let you know for sure. I think all of this unfolded in the week between Plan Commission and Council for Sauce and Toss, so we didn't put it on the council agenda. So we'll place
So
that.
Sauce is still not at the council yet?
Right, because
Yeah, I
'Cause
guess
this
as
came
part
up.
of this,
We'll
as
just
part of the
put it on
withdrawal, the voluntary withdrawal of this application, the other item should go to the council, be expedited to the next council meeting, right? Okay?
So when is the
Does
next
that need to
meeting?
be a motion?
Next Tuesday.
I'll be in New York.
You don't need to come.
I
It's-
don't think
Oh,
you
okay.
need to be
Thank
there.
you,
I
because
think
I'm-
that everyone will give you a glowing
York sounds better.
recommendation for.
I'm leaving tomorrow. All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And we do understand that the world is a little shaky right now. We do get that. And if the timelines are a struggle for you or, just, we'll work with you, okay?
Okay, thank you
makes
so
sense?
much. Appreciate it.
Do you agree? Everybody agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, just.
I can leave, right? Okay, thank you.
I'm looking on my computer screen, I apologize. Trying to figure out which one. We're on 7A and B, right? 7A and B is special use review for Arby's and a site plan review for Arby's on South 27th Street. This is just a refacing, right? No. What are they doing?
New ownership, that's all.
I'd make a motion to
There's
approve.
new ownership, but there's no change.
No changes,
Yeah.
just
I'll
new
make-
ownership.
I'll make a motion or a second.
All in
Mayor.
favor? Roger, second. I made the
Aye.
motion. Okay, item 9 is discontinuance of right-of-way in the vicinity of
Oh,
West Limits
8.
Road.
8.
Sorry,
8 is 76th Street.
Both Arby's, yep.
oh, it's both of them?
Yep.
I'm sorry. That makes sense.
Oh,
There's
this
two.
one has a condition.
Oh,
What is the condition?
The one next door by Spring Mall,
What's the condition?
to remove the Spring Mall pylon sign that's on their property.
I don't know if we can, because there might be an easement or there might be an agreement to have it there, and the sign is technically still in use.
Yeah, they quick threw that up there.
Yeah, so. Huh?
Did put that Sally sign up there without a permit, yes.
I don't know if they need a permit to replace this.
I know that sign code very well. I wrote it.
Well, yeah. But to replace an existing panel
Yep,
requires a permit,
it does. Always has. Always.
okay?
So we're removing that entire Spring Mall sign.
Unless you want to take away that condition.
We should take away that condition for now, probably. But noted in the, so there's probably an agreement, right, with Brixmor. I probably don't want to be sued by Brixmor, right, which is probably what would likely happen. Does Arby's want the sign on their property?
I don't know.
so what's going on? We're trying to.
I don't think this is really pushing an ownership change to interfere with a contractual right between a third party and the property owner. I would
About
remo-
that,
I would-
though? I would, because you're owning, I mean, think about it. You buy my house, right, and there's somebody else's property on it, or something.
Well, you're buying the house
Yeah, but
conditioned on the
It's not a
contractual agreement.
Yeah.
So if I bought your house, I'd be
Arby's is
buying your
allowed to get
property
that big
along
sign taken
with
down?
any contractual right that you assign to somebody else.
to have it
Yeah, sure, but,
Yeah, sure, that's the law.
Yeah,
So
I'm not saying
it's like,
that,
you can't just because you sold the house or change the
Yeah.
owner.
Arby's sign, not the Spring Mall sign.
correct.
what I'm saying
Okay.
is,
No,
No,
A Spring Mall sign.
I'm trying to get rid of the Spring Mall sign.
yeah.
Okay.
Must be on the Arby's property.
Ah,
So there must be an agreement between Spring Mall or Brixmor and Arby's to keep the sign there, and we're just throwing that agreement up and
I
destroying
don't think
it.
you can, so the way that it used to be, Arby's never used to be there. It was an outlot that I'm sure Heritage way back in the day, and the sign just happened to be on their property, right? And they didn't want to buy a new sign. So as part of the condition of the sale for the outlot to build the Arby's,
That
the
they
old
keep
Spring
that
Mall sign was there.
right, okay.
And I'm guessing there's a covenant somewhere and some kind of sale agreement.
I think it's a CYA, remove it from the agreement today.
I don't think, we can't force them to do that. We're
No, he's agreeing with you.
Okay,
Agree with
okay,
that.
all right.
Do not put that as part
Right.
of this.
But the minutes should reflect that the planning commission had concerns that the major pylon sign, one, was improved without a permit, and two, is part and parcel of this property. Okay? Is that's fair, right?
Plus Sally's no longer there. It's in Greendale now.
That's what I'm saying, Sally's not even there, right?
Doesn't
Right, that's
matter. So,
Yeah, they
Take it
moved,
down.
You can't take it down. You can't, there's a contractual,
I'm
there's
gonna
a,
hire a bulldozer.
I would
How about
bet,
that?
I would bet that there's a property interest that would be vigorously enforced to
Well,
make
Chris
sure
Mark
that sign
will sue me,
stays.
I'll
But if a
get
U-Haul hit
bulldozer.
it,
Huh? Yeah, if a U-Haul hit it. Required more than 50%
you know, this is
improvement.
being taped.
So the reality is the site is probably not going to be a retail center in the future, and the reality is the sign will probably come down in the future
time.
anyways. And the city would certainly like to have the sign come down.
I agree. I would love to see the sign come down, but if there's
There's still there's a
agreement-
contractual
Exactly.
agreement, I'm sure,
We-
so,
To cover our butts, this is not do that.
right. To be clear, the minute should reflect that this sign is not the Arby's sign, and that, you know, that this sign cannot be converted to this user,
Yeah, that's another thing is.
right, to make sure that's in the minutes, okay. But it can't be converted.
So all Arby's, nothing else, and get rid of the
Yeah,
spring
it could be a
mall.
monster Arby's sign, and
Yeah.
that's not.
The biggest
tech-
Arby's sign.
Remember the old cowboy hats, though,
Cowboy
that were
hat,
yeah.
neon? Those were
I
kind
think they
of,
still have one in Racine.
I saw one somewhere, yeah, that might be. They were very cool signs, I would approve that sign. If-
Oh, yeah.
They were
toothbrushes on the
cool, there was
light.
one on 27th Street, remember that? There was one on Highway
I
100.
went to that Arby's,
National?
I'm not real proud to say, I went to the Arby's because I had a real craving for their fries, and they were shut down in the middle of the day. Regular business day, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they were shut down.
A lot of restaurants, are-
The one on
a lot of
27.
restaurants,
No, this one right here.
no, a
the
lot of
one on 76th
restaurants
Street, Yeah,
can't get the help, man.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, item 8, A and B, did we make a motion in a
No,
second?
not yet.
I make a motion to approve the review and the site plan review. The motion includes reference to the large Spring Mall sign. The motion would be that the planning commission would recommend removing the sign in the event that the commercial activities don't happen on the Spring Mall property currently owned by Brixmor. Would note that it appears as if they're failed to take a permit out for the Sally panel that's on the sign. And finally, that sign cannot be converted to Arby's or any food user, restaurant user on the site, on the Arby's site. Does that sound right?
Failed to take out the permit for that Sally sign, is that kind of like no point because Sally's is not there?
So the sign is actually the responsibility of the owner of the property, I would think, right? I'm guessing whoever,
We sent Brixmor a letter last year, I want to say, maybe even 2 years ago, saying this sign is abandoned. It's very clear in our code, you have an abandoned sign, remove, non-conforming
why they
especially.
put the Sally Beauty
All of a
Supply-
sudden, the
that's why they put
Sally
that panel on there, you know
panel
that,
went
right?
up, yes.
So,
I will second the mayor's motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
So you need to redo that letter.
Uh,
It's abandoned sign again, because Sally's is gone.
It is, it is.
Well, folks that have these signs are very protective of their signs, and it's,
Well, if they're gonna come in and spend a couple $1 million,
I suspect in the future it'll have more of a residential feel to it than
and the sign
commercial.
won't make any
and
sense,
the
and no.
sign won't make any sense either. Item 9 is discontinuance of the right-of-way in the vicinity of West Loomis Road and eastbound I-894. This is on the former 43rd Street. I'd entertain a motion to do that.
I'll make a
Missed
motion
that
to,
piece or what?
By Carlson, is there a second? Second by Braswell. Did we miss it?
Yeah, was that missed because we already did the.
I don't remember what the,
I thought we just did this one too.
So the city abandoned 43rd Street right here. At the time, Cobalt was very insistent that this was DOT right-of-way. After doing better due diligence, they realized it's city right-of-way, so that's why it's round 2 right now. Public hearing scheduled for May 3rd.
How about that other triangle? Up to the 1 o'clock position there.
So DOT already gave Cobalt this land right here,
That.
this little
And then
triangle.
how about that little tiny spot?
This
right
right
there?
here?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure if Cobalt's seeking this or not.
okay.
So Cobalt's getting everything in the pink there.
Cobalt's getting everything to pink. However, they will be coming forward with a CSM to erase this lot line right here and blend it with theirs.
Sure.
But they're going to cut out a little chunk right here. The DOT is insisting on having, and they'll deed it to the DOT because they need more right-of-way for a future expansion of the on-ramp. So that CSM will carve out a little bit of this and deed it to the DOT.
Now, this is an old conversation, I know, but the parking lot for this office structure is going kind of right over the top of where the houses are now. But there's not going to be an access point from that parking lot to the Starbucks.
Correct. You're correct.
Is Starbucks working with,
Slowly.
We Energies and
Slowly,
Starbucks.
yes.
And the owner of the Starbucks property is working with We Energies to
Yeah, they are.
agreement
is it a
for
plan?
43rd Street, yes.
Yeah,
We're
but-
working, trust me, we're
We
really.
all know that you were right about that, about the stacking problem, and, but my goodness, it is really an issue there. Obviously, most everybody here knows that. But is that a plan, whatever's cooking with We Energies, is that gonna actually help it, or?
Yes, well, we hope.
We hope we've never seen anything.
So they're
talking to each other.
So We Energies can be a very
Bureaucratic.
government-type, bureaucratic kind of organization.
A lot of red tape.
But everyone agrees that it needs to happen, and we're working towards that end. And there is a plan that has been drafted by an engineering firm that would be promoted, I think, by the person that owns Starbucks and We Energies. I think that's the plan. So it's just moving at a snail's pace. And trust me, I mean, I'm looking for an email that I received over the weekend. If I could find it, I would give it to.
It's just a shame that we can't incorporate that parking lot to
We can't.
a drive-through.
Cobalt doesn't want that problem spilling out into
I get
that
it.
parcel.
I get it. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking out loud. It's just,
It's a good big picture planning concept for sure.
We could make it a city street.
If they would blend the
ownership
two
of
together.
it and for coffee.
Is that gonna slow the progress of the office building?
Probably.
So there's nowhere to move the office building to create the kind of space that you're looking at, and putting in the drive-through, the extra stacking for the drive-through would significantly eat into the Cobalt property where the medical office building is going.
Yeah.
There is a plan on the existing 43rd Street, or where 43rd Street was, that seems like it would work if they incorporated almost all of 43rd Street. The issue is access to the We Energies property by We Energies when they need to get in there. So that's kind of what I think they're working on right now. I don't know if that makes sense. So you can't force one private party to solve the problem of another private party. I wish that we would not have
in
approved
this
that.
day and age, it's just crazy to me that we can't get people together to talk about stuff. I mean,
Well, they have talked.
and sit down and, well, if they talked, then I don't understand why they didn't come up with a solution, because.
Well, there is a solution that I think is being contemplated that an engineering firm I feel comfortable with that created the plan that I saw,
Okay.
because it looked very much like the one that we created, but did not want to get involved in the middle of, would be a good solution to this problem. It just takes a lot of time when two parties, well, one party doesn't want to pay for it, and the other party doesn't want, and the other party goes at a snail's pace.
Yes.
And I think that's how but the one party that has, I mean, they're not getting more rent from Starbucks because they're improving the street, right? But they are getting a lot of input from the city, I think.
Yep.
On a weekly basis.
Input's an interesting word in this,
So here's an example I'll give you an example of what I get since we have another half an hour to kill. I'm just kidding. Dear Mayor Nysky, while I was visiting from Green Bay, as a former Greenfield resident, I was concerned about the parking situation at Starbucks. My experience as a journalist covering law enforcement topics tells me the many parking rage incidents that occurred there because there are not clear signs on traffic flow could escalate. That sentence didn't make sense, but you get the point, right? 8 parking spots routinely are blocked by a drive-through line that either doesn't want to or can't move. They're just asking for trouble, in my opinion, but I'm no expert, although she is an expert. Just someone who doesn't want to hear something terrible later and regret that I didn't speak up. I did email Starbucks, but I don't know if they'll care. I knew you would, which made me feel really good thinking. And I said this in response. You are absolutely correct. We have shared similar concerns with the business and property owner. Christy Porter, our development manager, will be forwarding your email to the property owner. I do know that there are discussions to rework the drive-through. That can't happen soon enough, Mike. So we understand it. Trust me. I get a complaint about it every couple weeks. Do you get any more?
Send you a complaint.
Don't.
Why don't you send me one? I'll send you a snarky email in response. It won't be as nice as this email, I can assure you of that.
Sure it won't.
Just kidding.
Journalists, you gotta be careful how you answer those journalists.
Yeah. So you said something interesting that caught my attention. You said, why, in this day and age, why can't we talk to each other? Gosh darn it, I wish that were the case. Because right now in the world, in almost every single thing that I say, there is someone who's really against it or someone who's really for it. Doesn't matter what it is. People are so angry right now, so frustrated, so I can't even describe the emotional turmoil that's permeating through our society. So getting back to what you were saying, why can't people just, I think that almost every minute of every day, because almost every minute of every day, someone is pounding something about something.
Not pounding changes.
Well, it doesn't. So it's, huh?
Squeaky wheels.
Well,
I don't even know if that's.
I mean, this is like, there were squeaky wheels, it's like,
Yeah.
Mr. So-and-so's, I mean, you have those, and I mean, and you have the neighbors, right? And you've always had that, right? And you've always had that the city didn't do the street light again, or, they tore up my front yard. All that stuff is routine, right? That's all within those are the kinds of things that you should be dealing with and taking care of and trying to solve.
Probably be worse if Lucky Cobalt bought that up, because it would be even worse, I'm assuming, if
It's-
residential.
Well,
Probably
I mean, just as,
It would have been a lot worse.
I mean,
You know.
Chris Helene, who graciously served on our planning
Right.
commission for years, was one of the people that called every spring because our plows chewed up her front yard. So, and we fixed it as soon as we possibly could, because we did indeed chew up her front yard.
Well,
But I wish that people were nicer to each other. I
Well,
wish there was some sense of some common
respect to what
sense.
you're saying, I was more talking about like the Starbucks people, the Cobalt and the We Energies. I mean, just 3 people get together, sit down and hash this out. I'm not talking about all the irrational stuff that's going on. It's just 3
Yeah.
people that want to see progress made.
So the good news is the 2 property owners that have 43rd Street are working on an engineering plan that should solve most of the problem, I would think, right? Much of it, I would think. Remind you all that they said that Starbucks would do about $19,000 a week in sales, right? It's doing multiples of that.
Right.
I've been told it's doing about $45,000 a week in sales.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's a good thing it came, it's just,
So I can assure you the next time there's a Culver's, a McDonald's, a Starbucks, or any restaurant that has a drive-through, there will have to be at least 20 spots. And I know our code says 8 or something.
Do you happen to notice what they're doing?
so there's gonna be
They're
enhanced
building one in
scrutiny.
Greendale right now.
So,
They're building a Starbucks in Greendale and Martin Luther, and the site is awfully small.
Correct, that's what I was wondering is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
are we losing the one in Cops?
From what sounds like no. It sounds like, I don't know, but it sounds like a lease was signed. It sounds like it's a special one in the Starbucks empire, because there aren't many like that left.
Okay.
If, having gone to Starbucks now for almost 2 decades, one thing I can tell you is that every 3 years, there's a new manager or vice president or somebody who comes up with a brilliant idea. It works sometimes, and then they decide that they're not going to do it again, and they just stop it, right? And then 3 years later, 4 years later, somebody else comes through and does the exact same thing. So I suspect what will happen when COVID kind of goes away, if it does, to the point where we are normal people again, I think you'll see them get away from drive-throughs and small coffee shops and go back to the model where people can come in and enjoy the place.
George Schultz is now in charge.
Which is, yeah, so the guy that just left,
Is that a
right?
good thing, or?
He got the axe.
Well, so you can look at Starbucks, and he was an accountant. He was a balance sheet kind of guy, right? He looked at how many square feet was this and how many dollars per inch, and right? And that can distract from what the mission and the goal of an organization is. And I suspect that's what was happening at Starbucks.
He got very wealthy to leave.
They all, yeah, I mean, isn't it crazy, right?
45,000 a month, that's amazing.
A week.
A week. It's just,
For selling water. Yeah.
for,
I think, I don't know.
Tainted water.
I don't know, but I've been told something like that.
wow.
No, I'm jealous of that.
Well, the one at Cops, I'm told, had done 35,000 a week without a drive-through.
You got good management.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just a guess.
You got a good manager at Cops.
She left.
Is she not there anymore?
Nope, she quit.
Well, then I
After
withdraw that.
15
I withdraw
years.
that. Just
After
for the
15
record, I
years,
withdraw
she's-
that previous statement.
It still could be true.
It might be true, but I don't know.
She's supporting her family and has a job that's not as
Okay.
trying,
Okay.
I think. All right, motion was, did we vote on this one?
I don't think so. I have
All
a
in
motion
favor
and a
again?
second.
Yeah,
Aye.
Did anybody make a motion?
I have a motion and second.
All right, all in favor to?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Community Development Manager report, you got anything?
Yeah, I do. I have a list here. Brixmore Spring Mall is the deal that we have been talking about for the last 2 years is fell apart, and so they have contracted a broker out of Chicago seeking a new use. They're not a typical broker. They're actually seeking a developer who would move forward with a completely different use. So that's the focus of that broker's role, is to seek developers who will completely redevelop the site. I'm sorry?
A casino?
Casino, huh? I didn't steer him in that direction. I just didn't think of it.
Did we
Sorry.
have one?
Can we even have
So we had a,
No. We could, I don't think we
be
could.
the Ozarks?
I like that show. Ozark.
so JLL is the company name, but they're actively, we spent some time on the phone the other day, had a good conversation. So I think he knows. I mean, mixed use is what we have identified as in the comprehensive plan, so we'll see. There was a groundbreaking ceremony yesterday for Great Life, and if you drive past that site in the corner of the city, you'll see a lot of dirt moving. It's finally dried up a little bit. They were delayed by about 2 weeks because of the wetness that we've had lately. You might want to put in your calendars, the rehab hospital on 103rd is having an open house on May 17th.
It's the old
It's a
Kindred.
Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m.
When is it?
May 17th from 4 to 8 p.m.
It's the old Kindred Hospital.
that's the one?
Did I miss something?
That's the Kindred Hospital, right?
The rehab hospital on 103rd.
Oh, 103rd?
Yeah,
In Oklahoma?
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the rehab hospital.
That's different kind
The
of
Kindred.
rehab.
No, it's rehab.
Oh, you thought it was 100, not 110th?
109th, that's what I thought it was.
Let me double check.
I thought
Maybe
you already
not.
went to that one.
Kindred?
Yeah,
No, we went to the one on 103rd.
well, that's the one I missed.
103rd didn't have they had an open house.
Well, we all got to walk through it and stuff.
Oh, it was under construction.
Yeah, yeah.
So is
Let
that
me check which rehab hospital we're talking about.
ninth one? Maybe I got it wrong. Right?
Maybe I have it wrong.
I don't know.
I'll get back to all of you on that one. One of the rehab hospitals is having an open house on May 17th from 4 to 8. Yes, I can do that. Genesis Restaurant on Highway 100 in Beloit has a new owner, and he is a developer. So I believe it will be redeveloped.
It sounds as if the issue with regard to stacking will rapidly come to the forefront.
What is that?
Hmm?
What do you mean by stacking?
Stacking cars for drive-throughs to get coffee.
How's that coming to the forefront?
I don't know.
He's foreshadowing things?
I'm foreshadowing. It's like a movie.
New developer, you said, right?
He's a developer.
Yeah. So
Genesis was what?
Highway 100 Beloit?
Yeah, what was that before that?
Oh, I don't know.
Genesis Family Restaurant?
Yeah.
before that, what was it? It was a house.
Oh my goodness, they've been there forever.
I don't know anything other than
Yeah.
Genesis.
Has it been that?
They've been there for a long time.
That dirt ended up in my backyard.
Did it?
Yeah.
Wasn't a house there though, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Pretty sure it was a house.
Yeah, and that mountain kind of went all the way where that
What year would
tire
that-
store was, all the way across.
It was like 1999
Yeah.
or 2000.
Jim Tatum did it,
I think so.
got the dirt moved there, and I didn't like it at the time because it made sense.
I remember fighting about it.
Yeah, 'cause that's you could develop that into.
It really did make sense.
One bit from the past back then was that there's a parking lot to the east on that property, and there was concern among the neighbors then about all sorts of people next to their house. That was 21 years ago or something, but
We'll keep all sorts of people out.
yeah, no, but I just, so there's a neighborhood there to the
Yes.
north and east.
And the east, yeah.
And noise and stuff like that was never really, that was a big deal back then.
It all depends what it is. It all depends what's going to go in there, right?
I don't know.
I think you could have, even the condo association across the street, I would think with that, what you showed me would not fly.
They would be very, it would be a noisy
This
use
is not
potentially.
gonna be an easy one if this is well figured out.
The back part won't. A nightclub, no.
I got
Maybe car washing or something, I don't know.
We need to do a car wash. We already had that issue on.
I'm not saying any, I don't know what it is.
I had a voicemail this afternoon from someone inquiring about exterior alterations to Best Buy. And then the Loomis and Layton project is getting closer to the permits. We're getting close to finalizing plans, so.
Sounds like in 2 weeks they're gonna be moving, right, forward, does that? or
I'm
does
not
that
gonna say yes or no to that.
Okay.
If we can,
Next year.
it's
No,
close.
the
It's close.
You're just talking about the south side.
south side.
The south side, so they would start with building A, which I'll show you.
That's all approved.
Yeah, it's everything's
Oh, yeah.
approved, now they're just, that and the church and chapel building, I think they're anxious to get going with.
So this is building A. This is the first one they start with, and then building B, and then building C. The office building was supposed to be in the same schedule as building A, but sounds like that's pushed out a little bit.
Is that part of what, from the conversation that we started off with about the construction costs and everything, stuff being pushed back?
Those are serious considerations right now. I think with everybody.
So in this rendering here, we've got apartments on the left, the one that, building A, and then the one to the far right by the Methodist church there, is that apartments also?
Yes, 1, 2, 3.
Right in the middle?
I think that's, is that a Lutheran church or Methodist? Is that Methodist or Lutheran?
They get their fence fixed? Did you talk to them about that?
They have their fence along the street.
I think you're probably right, it's probably Lutheran church. And then, what's that building, is that retail?
Apartments.
So we don't have any retail going.
Yeah, there's one little building, what was that?
I wouldn't call that retail. That's church and chapel planning funeral office.
Yeah,
Probably an office building.
But they're very anxious to get that in the ground.
Yes.
It sounds like.
I was asked this morning about Church and Chapel, and I thought Church and Chapel was not, I forgot that we did talk about that that's probably just last month, right? Was that last month they were doing?
Oh, no, that was last year.
Or more. Yeah. So there's this little,
For the change, maybe.
so I got this little thing, it's an infographic and I can't show it to you, but it shows what $50,000 worth of lumber would buy in 2020. And it was 10 1/20 single-family houses. $50,000 worth of lumber would buy.
10 houses?
$50,000 worth of lumber, 2020 would buy basically 10 single-family units you could build with that. In 2021, May of 2021, and prices right now are higher than they were in May, buys 2 units. 2 1/10 units.
80% up.
It's kind of crazy, right? That's not good.
But studs 2 feet on center.
I don't think the codes allow that. I think if they could, they would, honestly. This is like the 70s when they used aluminum wiring because copper was too expensive. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Then it all failed and started fires.
When I built my house in '77, we went through this, shortages of roof, there was no drywall available, there was no brick available, and the,
That's all your house is brick.
yeah, but the drywall, the developer would get 5 sheets, and he'd go to 5 different houses with 1 sheet to show that he was there.
Doing something, huh?
Okay, and that's, instead of building it in 5 months, it took 13 months. But that was normal. And then you couldn't get a natural gas hookup.
Yeah, so we were at the Great Life thing, the ribbon cutting, and the electrical switch, which is the thing that converts the power from the pole to the panel, right? It's the big switch. It was like 2 years out. They can't get them. I mean, that's like a major component, right? It was like 2 years?
I had
It was either 28 months or 58 months out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Time it's gonna take to complete the building, so
yeah.
2 years.
If you want to build a swimming pool in your backyard, the orders are starting in the spring of '24.
Really? So it's like that with everything, right?
So, that's it.
Yeah, so anyways, all right.
Interesting times.
Can't make a motion to adjourn?
You can.
I just did.
Seconded by Braswell. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.